Hello, and thanks for joining me in this webinar by UIC's Assistive Technology Unit. My name is Ellen McNamara. I'm a speech pathologist and I work on the Augmentative and Alternative Communication team at the ATU. Today I'm going to introduce our AAC services and discuss some of our clients in the comprehensive program. Working with our Augmentative-Alternative Communication team, or our AAC team, starts with a referral. You can make a referral at any stage in the comprehensive program by filling out an ATU intake form or by contacting our case coordinator, Angelica. You can find her information on the last slide of this presentation. After receiving your referral, a member of our AAC team will coordinate an assessment with the member or potential member and key individuals in their support network. During assessment, we gather information about the person's current communication methods and communication needs. We consider what's working well for them and what's not. Then we brainstorm what can facilitate communication. Sometimes that includes communication aids, like books with pictures or electronic systems with speech output. And sometimes it includes tips for communication partners, like family or caregivers, on how they can improve communicative interactions. If a member decides to try out these tools and strategies, our AAC team will provide individualized communication aids and training at a delivery appointment. From there, our team follows up with members and their support network for troubleshooting or to address any outstanding needs. Now I'd like to introduce you to some of the people we've gotten to know through the comprehensive program. Our first case example is a man named Dom. Dom had a stroke and subsequently aphasia. He speaks and writes to communicate, but his messages are often not understood because he has significant difficulty coming up with the right words. Through our AAC assessment, we found that visuals, like pictures or written text, helped Dom to identify the word he was looking for. In other words, if Dom saw a picture of the item he was trying to say or saw the written word, it could prompt him to say the word out loud or to point it out to his communication partner. So Dom tried out an iPad with communication software, one of many programs that support people with communication impairments. These programs have speech output, meaning it speaks out loud the messages that someone like Dom composes. Dom kept his iPad in a protective leather case that also housed a notebook, as well as professional cards, which he used to write out messages when speech output wasn't ideal and to share his medical information, like doctors' names, contact information, and prescriptions. Our second case is Stephen. Stephen underwent a laryngectomy due to throat cancer, meaning that while he understood everything that was said to him, he could come up with all the right words and even articulate them with his mouth, no sound came out when Stephen spoke. This was especially problematic when he needed to make phone calls, communicate in noisy environments, or in urgent situations when he didn't have time to write. Stephen was proficient in spelling, typing, and was pretty tech savvy. So after an AAC assessment, Stephen started using an iPad with communication software. The communication software that Stephen used was spelling-based and had word prediction to speed up his communication. Since Stephen was frequently on the go, for example, on public transportation, He preferred a durable protective case with a carrying strap that he wore across his chest so that he could access communication at any time. Our last case example is Betty. Betty had had multiple strokes with subsequent global aphasia. She had difficulty understanding what people said to her. She did not use speech or spelling and communicated using gestures like pointing, facial expressions, eye gaze, and vocalizations. Betty needed to get across her basic wants and needs and to better understand messages spoken to her by her caregivers. Through our AAC assessment, we saw that Betty better understood speech when it was paired with pictures and written words. She also preferred hard copy paper materials over electronics. So Betty started using a paper-based communication book with 10 to 15 pages and about 12 pictures with written words or phrases on each page. This book was developed with Betty's input as well as input from members of her support network. Her caregivers and family were trained to use this book when talking to Betty. In other words, the caregivers would point to pictures that matched the messages that they were saying while they were speaking out loud to Betty. This strategy helped Betty to better understand what she was being told, and it demonstrated for her how she could use the book to communicate with others. This was page 1 from Betty's book. It has frequent and commonly used messages on it. Betty was very social and liked to engage in social niceties, so you can see some of those here as well. This is page 2 of Betty's book. You'll notice small colored boxes with numbers on the top right corner of some messages. This means that if you turn to that page, you'll find more messages related to that topic. For example, if Betty was talking about feelings, which is in the top right-hand corner of this page, the green number 6 lets you know that there are more messages related to feelings on page 6. You can see page 6 here, the feelings page. You'll notice there's a green tab at the bottom with the label feelings and a number 6, which makes the pages easier to find within the book. In summary, you can make a referral to the ATU's AAC team at any stage in the comprehensive program. If during outreach and assessment, you notice a person has difficulty speaking or understanding, if after transition, they experience challenges communicating out in the community, or if during follow-up, new communication difficulties arise, then make a referral. These referrals should include people who have trouble understanding what you say to them, trouble getting their point across to you, people who experience both of these, or simply anyone with difficulty participating in the comprehensive program due to communication impairments. If you have questions or would like to chat, please don't hesitate to contact myself or my colleague, Pat. If you want to make a referral, you can fill out the ATU intake form or contact our case coordinator, Angelica Martinez, whose information is on this slide. Thanks for your time, and we look forward to working with you.